Hello and welcome to the board game play along here at the Delaware County District Library's GeekFest 2021. I'm Kellen Freeman. I oversee the Maker Studio and am running the back end for a lot of the streaming you'll see today. The game we're playing today is Railroad Inc. Deep Blue Edition. You can pick up a player sheet here at the main library, or you can print one off from the delawarelibrary.org/ggf website. If you didn't get one in time, it's not a big deal. This game is playable from the video after the fact. But if you did get one, play along, and feel free to post your scores in the comments at the end of the game. So, the printable score sheet is going to look a little bit different than this. It's a black and white version of it, but this is generally what you're going to have. You'll have this big 7x7 grid in the middle with some dice symbols at the top and your scoring area in the middle. How you play is you'll take these 4 dice, we'll roll them each round, and then you are going to draw those shapes on your board. There are two kinds of paths. There's roads and there are railways. Roads connect to roads and railways connect to railways. They don't connect to each other unless you have one of these station spots, which has a big black square in the middle. That's the only way that a train or a railway and a highway can connect to each other. So on your turn, you will write down all of those different railways, or all the different shapes that are on the dice, and you have to draw all 4 of them. You have to draw them as they are, but you can rotate and flip them as needed. In addition, 1 time per round, for a maximum of 3 times in the game, you can draw one of these special 4-way intersections at the top of your sheet. These can go anywhere on your board, and they are very helpful in connecting tricky spots between railways and highways where you didn't quite get them to line up. We will play for 7 rounds, and over the course of 7 rounds, you're going to draw in all of your shapes into the board, and how you score depends on where you drew those. You'll see these station spots around the outside of the board. There are 12 of them, and they alternate between highways and railways. When you are drawing a path, if you connect those together, or if you connect more than one of those together, you will score extra points. So this little chart here will show you that if you've connected, say, 4 of them together, you'll score 12 points for that, and that'll get marked down in this box here. You'll then score 1 point for each road in the longest road that you have, and 1 point per railway in the longest railway that you have. The next part of scoring is this square in the middle of 9 squares. For each square that you put something in, you're going to get 1 point for it, up to a maximum of 9 points, because there's 9 squares. The last thing for scoring is you will lose 1 point for each open-ended pathway that you haven't connected to something else. That only counts on the inside of the board, so if you have a pathway that leads off the edge of the board, you're okay there. But as long as you have, so you want to minimize the number of empty pathways that don't lead anywhere. And we'll come back to scoring a little bit at the end, and I'll refresh everybody's memory on how points work at that time. So, with placement rules of the dice, you must connect to a previously placed road or to one of the stations on the outside of the board. As long as you've connected to one of those spots, you're okay. So now that the teach is over, I'm going to roll the dice and we'll get started. So our pathways for this round: 2 T intersections of railway, a straight road, and a transfer between a road and a railway. I'm going to come down here from the middle, get started, and possibly branch out from that spot as well. So that would take up my 2 train spots. Sure, I will come down a highway there, and then, well, I don't like that. okay, so I'm going to draw my train, my railway, my transfer to a road, and I'm kind of set up there. Hopefully I'll get a corner piece that I can put in on that spot. The last thing I forgot to mention, in the corner, you're going to mark down what round you put it in. You can change things as long as it's still within the current round. Once you have switched rounds, you can't change anything that was previously placed. Alright, so we got a lot of roads this time. 2 T's and an angle, and then an overpass. This is not a connection, so you cannot switch your highways and railways against each other, but what it is going to allow you to do is have them cross over. So I'm going to put a T highway here, continue my roads down. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna angle, put another T here, and then I'll angle that road over. And what's my last one? The overpass. So I have changed my mind. I'm not going to put these here, and I can still change my mind because this is within the same round. Move them up here and do a T over here. I think I like that a little bit more. And now I have this awkward spot where trains are going to fit. So I'm going to use up one of my stations. And I think I'm going to use the last one. So to do that, I'm going to cross this off, show that I've used it. So I can't use it anymore for the rest of the game. And I think I'm good for round 2. I'll give you all just another little moment to make sure that you've got the dice pattern down that you have for this round. All right, so let's move on to round 3. Well, now I look and I see that one and I think, well, I shouldn't have bothered using one of my, what are they called? One of my junctions, but oh well. Couldn't have guaranteed that I get that one to come back up. So I'm going to move out straight from here, curve up, like those, and now I think I'll curve this one over. And where can I put another train? I'm going to come this way. I'm going to kind of plan that I can sweep this railroad around this way, maybe connect these stations over here. We'll see how that works out for me. Right. Go with that. All just another moment, and we'll move along. So the library does have a copy of this game in our collection. If you're not unaware, we have a pretty large board game collection across all 4 of our branches, and you can borrow Railroad Inc., the blue edition, from us. Take it home and play it some more. We'll talk a little bit more about the collection here in a moment. So let's move on to round 4. Let's see what we get this time. A lot of roads, and I could use some railroads for sure. All right, so here I'm going to draw my railroad up. Hopefully that will help connect. I'm going to put that T back. I'm pretty sure I put one of those there not too long ago. And then erased it earlier. Let's do my straight. I've done that. I've done this. I just have my connection. So this spot over here is a wasted spot, and it's going to be minus a point. So I'm going to go ahead and toss in my road. Remember, unfinished routes that travel off the edge of the board are okay. They're not negative points there. But right now, like, these 6 spots are going to be negative points for me at the end of the game. So I want to try and get those wrapped up as much as I can. Do I want to use a junction? I still have 3 more rounds to use them. Remember, you can use a maximum of 3 per game. So I think I'm going to hold off and see if I get the piece that I need before I do that. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll roll the next round. This is round 5, and I did get the piece that I need. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I've got my T railway there. I have 2 straight roads, which are pretty good, but I think I'm going to save one of those because I would like to make sure that I can branch down if I can. And I'll close this road off here. Oh no, these are round 5, not round 4. And my last one is a transfer point. So not quite sure what to do with that right now. So I think I'll just put it down here. And maybe I'll be able to connect that into the railroad network along the way. So here is where I am going to use one of my stations. So I'm going to use this 4-way train. So now I just need a straight and an angle, and I'll have those in place, and then hopefully I can get another straight or an angle I can tuck down in this corner so that I can get that off the edge of the board and it doesn't hurt me points-wise at the end of the game. Alright, next to last round. This is round 6. Well, there's a couple of my angled spots, so that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so that takes care of that corner. Now I need an angled road, and neither of those are really helping me. So now here's my question. Do I put the angle here to continue down, try and fill out more of these middle spots for points, knowing that I'm sealing that off? Or what I think I'm going to do, I'll mark off this last one of these for me for the game. I'm going to intentionally have an unfinished path, but now I can cross over here, and because I have to use this one, I don't know where else to use it, I'm going to start switching over to a railroad on this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 maximum spots for this round, so I'm done placing my spots. Give you all just another moment. And then we will move on. So our board game collection here has over 170 unique titles. You can borrow them from any of our branches. We have, you can place holds on them. We're working on a redesign for the informational site we have for what games we have in our collection. That's hopefully coming shortly, where you'll be able to find information about all of the games that we have in our collection and easily reserve them from that. But they're also free to just pop in and take a look and see what's on the shelf. We have games that range in age from games for 2-year-olds all the way up to games that take 2.5 hours and are incredibly complex. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. We'll go ahead and do the last round now. Right, well, not entirely what I was hoping for, but I'll at least get this T-junction here. So we'll connect all of those stations up, so that's pretty nice. I think I will turn the corner here, and then I'm going to have to just convert this to a highway, and then we'll angle it. And that might be the fewest open spots that I've ever had in a game of this. I think they did pretty good for this one. I'll give everybody a moment to wrap up their points, and then we'll go ahead and score, and I'll show you how scoring works, and I believe we have enough time to do another game of this. So the player sheets that you download have 2 spots on them, so hopefully you'll still have a second board. If not, you can always print off another one later and just rewatch the video. All the dice rolls will work, even if it's not being played live, and you can play along in your free time. You can even rewatch this later with a new sheet and use all the same dice rolls, but just put your roots in a different spot and see if you can beat your high score that you had from the last game. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move to scoring. So for the networks, I have reached 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 networks in my route, missing only 4 of them. So 8 on this chart tells me I get 28 points for that. For roads, my longest path would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I get 13 for those as well. Trains, I'm going to then look for my longest railroad, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have filled in 7 of the 9 center spaces. Let's do that. And then I'm losing 2 points for that, for my 2 empty pathways. I'll go ahead and do some quick math. That's 20, that's 40 minus 2, so 58 points for me. So I got 58 points for this map. That's a pretty good score for me on these. And I'm pretty happy with that one. So if you are playing along, feel free to post your scores in the chat. We'll see who had the better score. And I think I'm going to just set this sheet aside and grab a new one, and we can play another round. Like I said, if you've got your second score sheet still fresh and clean, go ahead and use that. If not, feel free to keep watching or come back later and play again along once you get another one. They'll be here at the main library. You'll be able to pick them up for a little bit longer, and it'll stay on the website a little bit longer as well. All right, so new round, first round of the second game. I wonder if we're going to have railroads as the primary movement this time. So this time, just to be a little different, I'm going to start at the bottom, or the middle here. I guess I need to make that a T. We'll do this a T going south. Then I'm going to put my overpass here. Now I think I'm going to arch this up and straight over from there. Excuse me. I'm feeling pretty good about that first round, so we'll go with that and see what we get. Go just another moment, and then we'll move on to the next round. talked about lots of highways, but then I looked at all the, talked about lots of railways, but then here's all the roads. So we'll see what they've got. You know what? I've got an idea. I'm going to put that straight right here. And put an overpass in this spot. Angle that highway down. Now I'm just got to figure out what to do with that road. I'd like to have a T there. I'm going to use one of my junctions. I'm going to use the three highways and a railway. That way I can curve this one that way. Let's see what we can do with the railway down that part of it. So mark that off. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll see if I can try and connect these up together and see if we get one big snaking railway system. That'd be pretty good. All right. Well, here come all the railways again. So I think I'm going to draw this overpass here. Hopefully connect that up here coming up soon. And I'm going to move this railway at an angle there. Connect to this. That's pretty good. And now I need one more angle. Let's go ahead and angle this railway this way. See if we can tie all these together, maybe connect down to that railway station at the bottom as well. Railroad Inc. is a member of the Roll and Write family of games. So as you can see, the name makes sense. You roll dice and then you write onto a board. There's a variety of them, and some variations. There's also called flip and fills. So if you're familiar with Welcome To within our collection, that's one where you flip cards over and then write the numbers down onto a sheet based on what is on the cards. We have a variety of other ones in our collection, such as Encore. It's a pretty good game I'm a fan of. We also have Fiver Findin' is a more kid-friendly one of these. Not this isn't necessarily kid-friendly, but I believe Fiver Findin' is designed for, I think, 6 and up, maybe 7 and up. And there's a few more roll and writes within our collection. It's one of my favorite genres of games. They're quick and easy and pretty nice to play. All right, move on to round 4. Come back the roads. So let's see. I'm going to put that straight here. Get that out of the way. Put this T road there, so that's taken care of. And I'm going to put another T right here. Let me see if I can hopefully snake this road around the corner and see what we can get. And then I'm going to draw this that way. Maybe we'll try and connect the railroad in up over here as well. And I'm going to go ahead, since I've got it the perfect spot for it, and I don't know how else I'm going to do it. I'm going to mark off my second transfer spot there. So now I'm set to go down there. Yep, that's all 4 of my spots. Give you just a moment to finish writing your responses. And we'll go ahead and roll for round 5. A little bit of a mix between things. So I'm pretty happy with that corner road. It's going to let me finish that section off. go ahead and do a railroad up there. Now I don't know what to do with those other ones. We wanted to get some highways in there. This might be risky, but I'm going to draw another last of my station transfers over here. Cross that off. So now I have an idea for this. I'm going to just loop that into the wall. Whoops, I accidentally wrote on top of my, wrote on top of the thing. The problem with the dry erase board is that your hand can smear it if you're not careful. So I've got my angle road, my angle highway, both of those. So I just need one more. And I think I'm going to try this. We'll see if I can connect those up. Not so sure about that, but we'll see what happens. All right, round 6. Well, we had all the angles last time. We got all the straight roads this time, and railways. So that's a pretty easy one there. That's a pretty easy one there. Do another straight road. Now here's a question. I can just connect. Oh wait, no. Before I do that, let's connect this. That's the perfect response there. So now I have to think, I could just cap this road off into the side of the map and try and connect then over to here. I just loop this one over, but then this one won't count as a network if I don't connect it to something else, and this one's already connected to everything else. So I think I'm just gonna do that. Hopefully get like a T highway and a straight, or a T and a straight railway on this next roll that will fit in there and will connect everything else up. Here's hoping. Give y'all just another moment, and then I'll go ahead and roll the dice. Yeah, it's looking I'm pretty happy with this map. Oh, I don't remember what round. Must have wrote this in round 3 because I only have 3 things. Oh no, there's one there. Well, I don't remember what round I wrote this in. Is it 4? Oh, it's 4. Not that it super matters. I know that I can't move it now because it was past round. Final round. Well, I got one part of that I wanted, but not the other part. So I'll at least connect this one up. But now I don't have a way to do anything with this spot. And wow, I'm really stumped on this one. What I want to do with it. Oh, that's, oh, no, that's not gonna work for me. I guess I'm just gonna have to do this, convert that over to highway, and do that. It's minus point, but it's still the same minus point that I had over here. Just continued it along the road. So this one is lonely and will not score because it didn't get to connected to anything else. So give you all another moment to finish this round, and then I'll go ahead and move on to scoring. And once again, feel free to post your scores from this game or the last game in the chat. We'll see how everybody did. well, I'm going to go ahead and get started on scoring this. So for my stations, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 this time, so 20 points. Not as good. Highway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Also not quite as good as last time. Railroad, I'm going to have to look at it and see what the best way is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11, I think that's going to be the best that I can get out of that. This time I did get all 9 squares in the middle, so 9 points for that. And then I've lost 1, 2, 3 points for that. Remember, the ones that go off the edge of the map don't count as a penalty against your score. So I'm going to go, I've got 32 plus 20 minus 3 is 49. 49 points this time. So 9 points less than I had last game. So not quite as good. Good scores for me this time. But I mean, that's the way it works. Sometimes you get just the part you need, other times you don't. And it's trying to best work with what you got. One more thing. That's all the games we're going to play of this today. Thanks for playing along. I will point out that if you borrow the game from the library, you'll get a little bit of an extra bit than we played with here. You may notice on the score sheet that there's a star that we didn't use. That is because there are these expansion dice that you can use. So there's the lake and the river. These are going to add extra gameplay elements to it. So the river adds effectively an extra path option. So you'll be building a river throughout your town map that will score points for the longest river that you have as well. And then the lake, you're going to be making big lakes around and dealing with the way that those get in the way of everything. They're both pretty interesting little additions to the game. Spice up the gameplay just a little bit from game to game, and it's a nice little addition to the box. So feel free to borrow the game. You can request it from home and give those a shot for yourself. So thanks for watching. We're going to take a little bit longer of a break this time as we get set up for the cosplay contest judging, and come back. Well, that'll be the next thing we have, and then we've got the library gals go to the movies after that, before we wrap up tonight with Librarians Lore, the D&D game at 6 o'clock. So thanks for joining us so far, and we look forward to seeing you the rest of the day.